Yes, folks, I am back again. This is Sports Focus. I am your host, John McNeil here, and I got a good one for y'all this week, people. Got a lot of interesting stuff, some stuff you didn't know about and stuff that I just found about this week. So let's kick it off with, the guy, Floyd Money Mayweather. That's right, Floyd Money Mayweather showing all the money. Apparently, now this is not for sure, but I just had to put this out there. He made a wager of $5.9 million on the Miami Heat beating the Indiana Pacers. $5.9 million. People, that is a lot of money. When we say Floyd Money, he must have a lot of money. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, he is the top athlete as far as making money. He made $90 million, so $5 million is nothing to this young man. So, hey, if you got it and you can get it, you go ahead. All right, now let's get a little local now. You know I got to represent. You know what time it is. It's East Hartford Youth Football, the Hornets. That's right. They got registration this week, people. June 8th at the East Hartford Community Culture Center, 50 Chapman Place. I shouldn't have to keep telling y'all every week where it's at. 12 to 3. Boys 7 years old, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All you older kids. You older kids, get your butts out there and see what you can do out there. That's going down. You got the cheerleaders. Don't forget you cheerleaders. You cheerleaders, y'all get out there too. That's right. Y'all see it. Hornets, boom, take it. Just like that. Now, on another local front, I just have to, since this is, Sports Focus, it has nothing to do with sports, but I just have to because, you know what? Let me change that. It does have something to do with sports. I recently went to this restaurant. They have wings. Wing Madness. I got to put it on there. I got to represent it. These wings are the bomb. 168 Burnside Ave. Wing Madness. Go check it out. Now, let me bring this back because, I got a lot of stuff to talk about. And it's a good, interesting program. Let's start it off with the NBA. That's right. We had a great Game 7. I have to talk about it. A great Game 7 between the Pacers and the Heat. It was unbelievable. The Heat was supposedly the team to beat, but they got pushed, and they got pushed real hard. So I just want to say I think the Heat, they might, but I'll get into that later. But it was a great series regardless. Regardless if they win the title or not, it was a great Eastern Conference Finals. And I wish San Antonio could have went 7 also, but they went 4. They took care of business, so good. And I like how the Heat, they celebrated. They did a good job. They went over. They congratulated the other team there. And that's what you're supposed to do after a hard-fought series. You go over there and you say, hey, good one, guys. We'll see you next year. Hopefully not, but you know what? It was a great series. And I just want to also mention Mr. Hibbert. You had a rough week with your little comments, and I didn't like how he just sort of went into the locker room right quick. No cool. That ain't cool at all, so I ain't really like that. But we got the finals. The 2013 NBA Finals are here. Folks, I just got to say, I think the Spurs and the Heat, we might be looking at the greatest NBA Finals since back in my up-and-coming days of the 80s with the Celtics and the Lakers. This, in recent years, think about it, you have 3-on-3 of as far as superstars. I mean, you got Duncan, you got Parker, you got Ginobili, and then you got Miami's big 3. So you know what? It is going to be exciting, and I hope everyone enjoys it. I will enjoy this series all the way. I don't even know. I know I like the Heat, but I like the Spurs too. So I'll see how the series goes, and I'll let y'all know who I think is going to win. Now, let's shift to the NFL. We got some devastating news. Devastating news coming out of the NFL that I have to speak on. Deacon Jones. That's right. Deacon Jones passed away this week and 74 years old, people. That's a good long life. But let me just break it down as far as Deacon Jones. Now, Deacon Jones was, I would put him on something that's above, like a Lawrence Taylor. You know, one of those players that changed the game. You know, Deacon Jones was a 5-time first team All-Pro, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 8-time Pro Bowler in a 14-year career. Now, this is, mind you, this is back in the 60s and the early 70s, mid-70s. He played with 3 teams, the Rams, the Chargers, and the Redskins. He did most of his glory time was with the Los Angeles Rams, of course. And, of course, without Deacon Jones, he created the term, the sack. That became NFL stat back in 1982. But prior to then, you know, these guys are sacking the quarterback left and right, but it wasn't kept as a record. We all know, if any of you have any doubts, go to NFL.com, type in Deacon Jones, watch some highlights of that man. You see the pics. That dude was for real. He was the Jim Brown. He was that type of player. He was that Barry Sanders. He was equated to now Barry Sanders, you know, the Bradys, those guys. He was that guy. He was that, you know, long ago, a lot of before everybody was born. But you know what? He was the guy, and he was amazing. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1980. First time ballot, mind you. Now, you know, where he really got his name and then fame came from the group that he was in, the Fearsome Foursome, back in with the Los Angeles Rams. You had Merlin Olsen. He was, you know, huge. You had Rosie Greer. You guys, some of y'all must know Rosie Greer, Lamar Lundy, and, of course, himself. Deacon was 6'5". He was a big man, people. He was a big man. They were all big. But Deacon Jones will be missed, and I hope that all of you go just punch on your smartphones, get on your computers, and just take a little moment to check him out, because he was the real deal. He was the real deal for real. Deacon Jones passed. That's cool. He was the man. He was the man. I actually like him. When you hear him talk, there is no character like Deacon Jones, period. So you get that hard one right there. That's much respect. Now, like I said, I got some interesting stuff for you. You know, when I'm doing my research on Deacon Jones, and I mentioned the Fearsome Foursome. Now, in the AFL, this is the American Football League back in 60s, 61, 62, the San Diego Chargers people, and I have to bring this up, they also had a Fearsome Foursome that was bigger than the Los Angeles Rams. Check this out. You had Ernie Ladd was 6'9", people. You had Bill Hudson. You had Earl Faison. That brother was 6'5". Neary, who was 6'6". For 1961, that was huge. I can imagine what the other team was thinking, like, geez, they're going against these guys. But that was the San Diego Fearsome Force. I don't know if I just found about this when I'm doing my research. So I figure, you know what? I'm going to bring it to you. And you can check it out for yourself. Cool guys. They look like they was getting down with it too, Jack. 6'9" and 6'6" and 6'5". Oh, man. These guys are huge. All right, now let's get back to some other NFL news, which is very curious. A couple of weeks ago, I told you about Jamarcus Russell, the overweight quarterback. He lost 50 pounds. He dropped some more weight. So now the Chicago Bears are giving him a tryout. So I get back to you guys how that went. 50 pounds, I think he got to drop some more because he was over 300 and something pounds. So he got to drop a little more, quarterback, so he can move around there. And also, I got some bad news for you, New York. No, I don't mean to laugh. Let me take that back. Got some bad news for you, New York Giants fans. Jason PierrePaul, JPP, as y'all know him, Cowboy Killer, all that stuff. He needs back surgery, people. So he is going to be out for 12 weeks. And it might hurt him as far as making that first game of the season against the Dallas Cowboys. So you Giants fans, keep your fingers crossed. I don't know. Young man with back surgery issues, that's kind of crazy to me, but hopefully everything works out for him. I hate to see someone that's young and gifted like himself have to get with injury, has to take a step down, but wish him well. And also a strange case of Mike Adams, the Steelers' second-round pick of 2012. He was stabbed a couple of times in the stomach. Apparently, he was about to get carjacked. He was standing in front of his car, and these three guys walked up and tried to take his car. So, hey, that just goes to show you, you're rich and you're sort of famous and you got a little money in your pocket, but you're still out there in them streets and people see you. And they got him. But he's going to be okay. He's going to miss all of the pretty much maybe part of the training camp. He's definitely missing out of the mini camp. So Steeler Nation, he'll be back, though. Tomlin got his back. He'll be back strong. And now, let me slide. It's Cowboy Talk. I took a week off. It's Cowboy Talk. I got some good news, people. Good news. As you see, Mr. Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, people, he got a smile on his face. He's hip-hopping. Jerry Jones has finally got to Jason Garrett. He finally got to Jason Garrett and stripped him of his play calling. After all of the, we don't know who's going to call the plays. Is it going to be this guy, that guy? Jerry finally made his decision, and Bill Callahan, now he's the new play caller. He should be the play caller because he's also the offensive coordinator. So that just makes sense as the offensive coordinator. Call the plays. So in Cowboy land, yes, that's what's happening. Also, the Cowboys made an interesting move picking up Dante Rosario, a tight end, big tight end too. I don't know how they got like 4 or 5 tight ends on their roster right now. So I don't know how this is going to work out, people. But trust me, I think the Cowboys are headed in the right direction. They obviously going to run a 2 tight end or 3 tight end set. They might just get rid of the fullback that they have. So the Cowboys, I'm very optimistic. You just don't know what you're going to get when you're dealing with the Cowboys. But I like where they're going. I like the direction. These moves that they're making. People want to say they stripped Jason Garrett of the play calling. Jason Garrett didn't want to call the plays. So you know what? You're doing him a big favor because he did not want to call the plays when he got the job. Jerry Jones made him do that. And that's why the Cowboys been messing up all these years. Folks, that is my time, and I am out. Peace.